Hey guys, your friendly neighborhood natty here. My name is Matthew, and today's video is going to be a range report on the HK P2000. Now, in preparation for this range report, I actually dry fired the P2000. I'd say a good maybe like 2,000 to 3,000 times. I was mostly focused on the double action pull, so kind of just having a nice smooth kind of pull on the double action. And then if I got tired, because I would do this for hours, for days on end, I would just switch to the SA, and same thing, just having a smooth, calm, you know, kind of a pull through. So that's what I was doing up until this range report. And for this range report, I actually used a variety of ammunition just because I had too many variables that I hadn't seen at Shields for months, you know, like the Winchester USA Forged. Haven't seen that at Shields for months. Range dynamics, sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. American Federal Eagle, because that's kind of the base ammunition that I use for most of my guns. And then the Winchester USA Ready, which I have not seen this at the range, at the Shields for a very long time as well. And then of course I also had some Fiocchi Target Mac. This is the 200 pack, just because I wasn't sure how many rounds I would get through at the range. You know, we have 14 magazines essentially, you know, 3 that come with the gun here with the HK, and then of course the rebate gave us 4 more, so that's 7. And then we have 7 magazines of the P30L. You know, they have the orange follower here. So I had 7 of those, so 14 magazines. I wasn't sure how many rounds I was going to go through. In total, I think the amount is about 210 bullets with 7 magazines of P2000 and 7 magazines of P30. Keep in mind the P30 is a 17 round magazine. I know they make it in 15 as well, but mine are 17. And then, so with 210 being kind of a full, you know, mag dump, I guess we'll say, I decided to bring 450 rounds just in case if we had time to go through another set. We didn't, but I thought we could have. So I actually had 2 of these guys, had 2 of these Fiocchi Target Mac boxes. But no, we just ended up shooting 210, which kind of brought me a little bit over the limit of 35 minutes because I only shot for an hour, but you know, they're nice. They're gonna kick me out, you know, so that's kind of neat. Now the distance is the same that I always do, so 7 yards or 21 feet. And then the target, I have that here. 6 targets. So the plan was like, okay, I got 6 targets, and I was going to use kind of like Paul Harrell's training methodology, where, you know, you would you do a double action pull, and then of course the hammer will be back. You decock it, and then you just focus on the DA pull. And then the second part of the training is, you know, you do the DA pull, and it'll be in single action, and then you go ahead and shoot that, and you just do like rounds of that, right? So you have DA pulls over and over again, then you have DA to SA pulls over and over again. And then if I got tired, I could just go to SAO, or single action only pulls. And then with 6 targets, we could have just gone to the weak hand. So we'll do the strong hand. If I got too tired, then I'll just go to the weak hand. That was originally the plan, but what happened was that with the DA pulls, I guess my training's not very good. I happened to just kind of pull through, like all the way through, and it's not a smooth, kind of calm, slow squeeze. It's kind of like I'm just pulling to like get it over with. So I noticed that a couple of times on my DA pulls, and I decided, nah, I gotta cut it out because, you know, it wasn't a good pull. I can just tell it's not going to be a good shot. So of course I got rid of the plan for the DA to SA, because if the DA is no good, then there's really no point. So I ended up actually doing just SAO only on most of the shots. You'll see some DA pulls in the footage, but after a while I could tell that I'm just pulling through. And I did that with the SAO as well, because, you know, instead of having like getting rid of this slop and then pull, I would just kind of like pull through like that, which is generally, I would say, probably not good. Now, going to targets here. So I'll give you a close-up here, but target 1, that was mostly going to be the Winchester USA forged. It's a steel-cased ammunition, and you'll see in the footage that most of them ended up being failures to eject, almost every single shot. So because it had that malfunction consistently, I tried to get rid of all the ammunition on target 1, so it seems to be shooting a little low left. That's fine. Again, I just wanted to put all the bullets there since it kept giving me the same malfunction. Now with targets 2, 3, and 4, what kind of happened there was that I noticed with no matter what ammunition I was using, whether it was the Federal American Eagle, whether it was the Winchester USA Ready, or the Range Dynamics Fiocchi, it would always double feed a lot. Sometimes it failed to eject, but most of the time it double feed, which there may have been a few in the Winchester USA Forged, but on these ammunitions it seemed to double feed a lot more often. So I noticed that with target 2. With target 3, I think I kind of may have gone back to double action just for a little bit, but then after a while I went back to the SAO shots only. Target 4, kind of the same thing, just the same malfunction no matter the ammunition. With target 5, that was mostly the Winchester USA Ready, and I put a lot of shots on target 5 as well, because I wanted to leave 3 magazines left of the P30, so 51 shots, and that would have been about 14 shots of Fiocchi Target Max and 37 shots of the Fiocchi Range Dynamics. And you'll see on target 6, that's what the end result was. A lot more low than low left, but honestly after 210 shots, I think my hand was just getting tired, so it's starting to drag down a little bit more than usual. So, what can we tell with the results? Well, with the failure to eject and the double feeds, usually people will say that's limp wristing. And as far as if some people believe that that's real or not, I think it's real. You can find a video from Tim by Military Arms Channel where he shows that he can limp wrist the gun, but there's a very huge caveat, and it's that he has to hold the gun ridiculously loose, almost to the point of comedy. Like nobody would hold a gun in that way, and that's the only way he can get the gun to limp wrist, because he's a soldier, he's a military man himself, and his trainers, of course, eliminated any possibility of a failure or anything like that. So he cannot limp wrist the gun intentionally. He just can't do it with a normal grip. So he's got kind of a comedic, ridiculously hold on the gun, which is able to limp wrist it. So that's kind of the first thing I would say, is that yes, it's possible. Now here's the other considerations. Even if I did a double action pull, the gun still failed to eject or double fed. And a double pull trigger, even on a nice HK, would be at least 9 to 10 pounds. It's not a light trigger. And of course, I can tell you that my hold on a double action pull is a lot more firm. It's a lot more firm, it's a lot more stronger. So I'd be very surprised if I can somehow limp wrist a double action trigger pull. Another thing to keep in mind too is that, I'm not holding it in a very weak way like Tim has to. I'm doing a very normal standard grip. So as my master taught me, gun is in the strong hand and it pushes out. Your support hand comes back and it pushes in. And there's that constant, forward, backward push. And then you simply choose your targets and squeeze the trigger. So if that is, I would almost say, the most universal hold in firearms marksmanship, then okay, if you're gonna tell me that's a limp wrist, then well, I think that just means that the HK is a little bit of a diva and expects something a little bit more than what should be treated as normal, And another thing to take in mind too is that I've shot other guns besides the P2000. Years ago, when I was a weaker martial artist, I shot the Smith & Wesson Shield, never had a failure to eject or a double feed. I've shot the Glock 19, Glock 17, Glock 26. Again, a younger, weaker martial artist, never failures to eject, never double feeds. Beretta M9A1, PX4 Storm, Smith & Wesson 5904. Once again, younger, weaker martial artist, never failure to eject, never double feed. Now we have to be fair here and understand, well, okay, like if the gun is double feeding every single time, doesn't matter if it's the P2000 magazine, doesn't matter if it's the P30 magazine, well, something has to be consistent, right? So yes, it can be me somehow having the talent to limp wrist a double action trigger pull, or something could be wrong with the magazines, you know, maybe the springs and all 14 of them are not good, or something's wrong with the gun, right? That's the only consistent we can come up here, right? Those are the only three. Something has to be the same to cause the exact same malfunction every single time. Now, I will say too that with the Winchester USA Forged, this is steel-cased ammunition, and you know, I think people know the reputation of that is that it's just, you know, it's malfunction savvy. You know, like things can happen with that. But even if we dismiss all 50 rounds of those, we still saw failures to eject and double feeds almost every single time with very different brands of ammunition. You know, I mean, we're talking 5 brands of ammunition, right? So even if you dismiss the Winchester USA Forged, are you gonna tell me Federal's not a good one? You know, are you gonna tell me that Fiocchi Range Dynamics is not a good one? Once again, you know, there's too many variables in here to say that, you know, it could be one or the other, whichever mistake it is. Almost kind of like a Scooby-Doo mystery. I'm really not sure. Now, I would like to say, despite the malfunctions, that the P30L mags do work in the P2000. I came to that conclusion in my unboxing, and it is correct. I can't really say if the P30L can use the P2000 because the grip is too long. So if somebody wants to get a P30 SK and then can use a P2000 magazine, then we'll know. But my suspicion is, once again, I think they can use each other's magazines. Now, what is the plan for the next range report? Well, I plan to go to use the P30L in the next range report, which will be about a month from now. And I guess that will just tell us more information. You know, that's gonna tell us if the P30L has the same mistakes, then once again, it could be the magazines, could be the guns, and it could be me somehow. I'm not 100% sure. As far as the training, I am gonna change that. So, you know, as I saw in this range report, I tended to just pull through, you know, like that was the most important thing. When really it should be not a comedically slow, but, you know, somewhat slow, diligent, you know, intentional pull in what I'm doing. And then of course, Paul Harrell's talked about this as well, like when you're trigger in single action, there's a lot of slop there. Just try to get that out of the way and then focus on the smooth, slow pull. So that's all that I can do to control my training. I'd also like to mention as well, when I was at the range and I was noticing these malfunctions, I tried to intentionally have a weaker, looser grip, and I also intentionally tried to have a death grip, you know, over gripping. And well, you'll see in the range, the result was pretty much the same. It was gonna to double feed and fail to eject no matter what. So unfortunately, that is today's range report. Quite disappointing, you know, I put so many dry fires, so many hours and days and weeks in preparation, gave myself 2 days of rest, which is more than typical, you know, let the body rest, relax so I can have a good performance, and then this was the result. So yes, unfortunate, but hopefully we'll have a better result with the P30L. We'll have a little bit more information and we'll kind of see what exactly is going on. Some people say that the magazine can be a problem, like the springs aren't good and they have to be changed to a Wolf spring plus 10%. And keep in mind that these magazine rebates, they are not in original packaging, original manufacturer packaging. They were kind of just in a bag, you know, so clearly they got a bunch of them and they just group them together to send out, and that's fine. But even with the P2000's original 3 magazines, it still gave it malfunctions. Granted, they all would have been Winchester USA Forged, but still, there should have been like some streak of 2 to 3 rounds getting out. So that's all I have to say about this range report. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope the information was useful for you. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye now.
Around this finger and around this. Don't bring you somewhere here. But then that's your target. Your target should be not the center, that's like the top of the yep. Okay. What do you want to shoot now? You want to shoot something else or? Yeah. It's up to you. Do you want to? Okay. If we get jumped on the way out of here, I don't have any of my guns loaded. Now I can't remember. God damn it.
Martial arts! Martial arts, go!